$141 million, making him the highest paid wide receiver. For more on this, let's bring in our guy, Jason La Canfora. He is our insider. JLC, do we have any details? What are we finding out? I sort of always give you the blank slate to tell me what you know, so I don't pigeonhole you with a question. I just want to hear what you have to say about this.
Sure. Well, look, obviously the Green Bay Packers are in a situation there where the quarterback's making $50 million. He's year to year. As much as people will tell you that contract is 4 or 5 years, a lot of funny money in it. Aaron Rodgers has let it be known that he's going year to year, and just because there's $60 million guaranteed in year 2 of this new deal doesn't mean he's going to be sticking around for that. I don't think Davante Adams envisions his career playing any point in time with Jordan Love, and guess what? He's not going to have to ever do that again after this trade. But the idea of him re-upping with the Packers long term didn't look real bright with Aaron Rodgers' future being so limited. And if you're going to extend Davante Adams and get him off that franchise tag, you're going to want to do a 5 or 6 year mega deal to control him through the rest of his prime, which is what he ends up doing with the Raiders. The Packers, there was going to have to be some sloughing off of different parts of this roster just because of what they were up against from a cap standpoint and the way they got themselves into this mess with Aaron Rodgers in the first place. Yeah, there's going to be multiple picks involved in this trade, at least one, possibly players as well. I'm still efforting more details. But the reality is the Green Bay Packers, after not drafting any wide receivers a few years back when they drafted Jordan Love and getting themselves into this mess in the first place, just think if they had sort of done the rational thing, added a receiver or two along the way there, they'd already have incubation. They'd have some protection for a situation like this. And maybe the cupboard wouldn't look as bare as it does right now from a who's going to catch the damn football standpoint for the Green Bay Packers.
All right, so what do you think the plan is in Green Bay? And according to, things are coming in, Green Bay may have offered the same money that Vegas offered, and he said, I don't want to be here anymore. So what is the plan in Green Bay? Is it draft somebody? Is it bring back MVS and draft somebody? Is it pick up the phone and try to get a receiver off somebody else's roster? Is it Julio Jones? Is it Cole Beasley? I mean, where can they go from here?
Well, look, there's a lot of room at the end right now in terms of pass catchers, tight ends, and wide receivers. I wouldn't say that it's not that he didn't want to be there, but I just go back to my initial point. Aaron Rodgers is at the end of his career, whether it's 1 year, 2 years, maybe 3. Davante Adams has more football left in him than that. And look, I don't think anybody in that organization is excited about the proposition of Jordan Love. They've gone to great lengths now to not have Jordan Love play football for them. So I think for Davante Adams, it's more about where am I going to be able to get myself in a situation that I think I'm going to be able to prosper in for the duration of this contract. And again, Green Bay, the quarterback's made it very clear he's year to year. I would think Valdez-Scantling is someone that they will pursue. They need to have a deep threat, somebody to take the top off. We know Aaron Rodgers' ability to loft the ball 70, 75 yards downfield. Even at this stage of his career, he can still throw an amazing deep ball. They need to have that element present. It's something that they just need. If they are a prosperous team, but they still need a shot in the arm at some point, Odell Beckham, he's going to be someone who's probably available mid-season, but that's someone that they were interested in sniffing around on at some point in time. People thought he was going to go to Green Bay. He ended up going to the Rams, but that's something, a more long-term play, I think you have to keep your eye on. And this is a good receiver draft, and they have kind of not gone down that road with any high draft capital for some time. I certainly expect that to change. I would be shocked if they didn't invest multiple picks in the first couple of days, especially with this new, the coffers being filled with the Raiders picks with some pass catchers.
All right, so being our insider and knowing the personalities and the players here, what's 12 thinking? Do you think they consulted him here? When do you think they consulted him? And what do you think his attitude's going to be if he wasn't consulted, which seemed to be his complaint the first time around?
Well, look, he is aware that this team was going to have to make some significant moves, that they weren't going to be able to bring the band back together. And 12 wanted $50 million a year. I mean, that was, look, if I'm coming back to play football, this contract's going to average $50 million a year. that comes with an opportunity cost to other people. It's very difficult to keep the guys that they have on defense, including a Campbell and a Preston Smith, who people didn't necessarily think they were going to be able to, and have a $50 million quarterback and have a $25 million wide receiver. It's, and they've got money invested in their offensive line. Something was going to have to give. Now, look, if they come out of this process, Eric, and they don't re-sign a couple of decent free agents, and they aren't investing big draft capital in receivers, then I think you could see 12, have a May meltdown like we saw a couple of years ago that started all this. But again, they're more in lockstep. There's more communication. I very much imagine he will have a say in watching film of some of these young receivers, having a little bit of input on which guys I like, which guys I think work. He's talked a lot in the last year or so about having that voice. He got Randall Cobb back in the door in the first place. So I think Aaron Rodgers will be invested in the process of trying to find prospects to help fill this void.
Yeah, I can't imagine they're not going to call him in and go, okay, here's a free agent list of wide receivers. Circle one. Go ahead. Hey, pick a card, any card at all. Well done, JLC. Appreciate the time, bud.
You got it.
All right, so here you go. Most receiving touchdowns since 2014.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.